Oh my God. So 800% growth in job postings. So what is this, Rose? It's a forward deployed AI engineer. So one of the recent article, which is a forward deployed AI engineer. So now the job growth is really around growing at a speed of 800% year over year growth. And let me just read out the companies which are really hiring for it. EY, Snowflake, Databricks, Palantir, Anthropic, OpenAI, Sling, Ramp, all of these companies are aggressively hiring for forward deployed AI engineers. So what exactly this role is? So now before we are understanding about what exactly this role, we need to understand why this particular role. Now, the major challenges, for example, if you are able to read one of the studies, so I will be just listing it down, you are able to check it. So the study is called as MIT Nanda study. So based on this study, what exactly these people done? They interviewed 300 enterprises, and all these 300 enterprises, they came up with a statement stating that we are able to release our AI models into the production, but the result, the impact it is really making is like no impact or little impact. So there is no point in investing that much amount of money. So now when really there is no impact, so now the AI is good, agents are good, everything is good, but they are unable to see the benefit at a production level or at a scale level. So now they are unable to really move forward with that. Then they come up with concept called as forward deployed engineers, which are really came up or introduced by a company called as Palantir. So what exactly this role is? They came up with this role for software development. Now, for example, let's say I'm a bank. So for example, the bank runs on a different ecosystem. So what exactly they do is they try to take this software engineers, they ship it directly to the client environment, and they will be identifying the problem for their particular requirement, and they try to scope that, and then they start identifying or they are trying to design it, and they build it, and they make it as a POC, and they take it to a scale of a production. And based on the production, again, they observe it. Is it reaping any benefit? In case if it is not reaping any benefit, again, they try to reiterate the process. So until they are able to satisfy the customers, the engineers are really working at a client facing environment. So that's what called as forward deployed engineers in simple lines. So now you are not really working in your office and you are not connecting over a Zoom. You are directly at a client location. You are understanding in simple lines to say that now I'm buying the ready-made shirt. I really don't like this ready-made shirt, let's say. Now what exactly I'm on sourcing, or I'm just like I'm just deploying the tailor in front of me. He's understanding my body, he's understanding what exactly my requirement is, how I want to look like, and he's designing. So the tailor cannot be just a developer. He need to be even an architect. He need to be at a position of designing what really suits to me, and then it need to satisfy me. So like he's understanding my requirement, he's using maybe like developers or the tailors, and he's designing the exact attire which going to suit to me. Until I get it, he's keep on revising it. So now this literally helped Palantir to grow. The same strategy is working for OpenAI. So OpenAI want to leverage this enterprise adoption of this AI agent so that they are able to make more money. So instead of having a regular developers, they started releasing forward deployed engineers. Say, man, you want to build an AI agent? You want to automate your workflow? No worries. We got our forward deployed engineers. We will be sending to your location. You are a bank? No problem. We will be sending our forward deployed engineers. They will be understanding your requirement. They architect it based on your requirement, based on your environment. They build it, they deploy it to the production, and they observe it until you get a valid results. Our forward deployed engineer is going to be there for you. So in this way, the companies are constantly hiring this forward deployed engineers. The reason is really good. Means like the churn rate is getting reduced. Very simple. Now when a tailor is able to come near me, and when he's an architect plus he's a tailor, so now I'm able to get all the tailor made dresses. So why I will be losing that guy? I will be constantly hiring for forward deployed engineers. So that's what happened with Palantir. So now the same thing, Anthropic is coming up with forward deployed engineers. OpenAI is doing it. EY is doing it. Snowflake is doing. If you look at all of these companies, I'm listing it down. Most of these companies are product based companies. So OpenAI had their own product. So ChatGPT or Anthropic has their own product. Databricks has their own product. So they want to sell Databricks. If they're able to sell forward deployed engineers, so they are able to get more customers who are using only Databricks. Most of the customers don't don't even know how to use it, how to deploy it to the production. Instead of training their team, I will be sending my professionals. So let them give you production grade systems to you and they deploy it. So this is what the role really is about. And what is the salary they're really paying? So now the median salary they're saying is like $190K, the median salary. And if you are a senior forward deploy engineer, it is ranging around $238 to $310K. And some companies are paying from $450K to $700K. Also, some companies are really paying. Now, for example, hey, I want to be a forward deploying engineer. You need to be really, really skilled enough. You are top at coding and you are good at understanding the customers. So now what exactly the skills you really want? For example, let's understand it from one of the OpenAI role. Now, this role is speaking about forward deployed engineer, lead complex end-to-end deployments of frontier models in production alongside our most strategic customers. So where exactly you're there? You are with the customers. So like you are coming up with a complex end-to-end deployments. So of your ChatGPT models. So into the production. So your goal is not just to build a POC or not to build an MVP. Your goal is to create end-to-end production. So now what are the in-depth skills you need to have? So you need to be very good with your programming. So let's see in this role. So what exactly you are doing? So now you will be own technical delivery across multiple deployments from first prototype to stable production. So now you need to iterate with multiple prototypes. Your customers are identifying, hey, I want to solve this. And then you are taking it to a scale, to a production, and build full stack systems that deliver customer value and sharpen how we learn. So you need to know how exactly this AI to be integrated into the front end, into the back end. You need to be very good with your back end. With Python, with JavaScripting, you need to be very good, or we call Python JavaScripting as TypeScript. You need to be good with Python and a TypeScript. And apart from it, embed closely with your customer teams, understand their needs, and guide adoption of what you build. You need to have a good customer empathy. You need to know what exactly they are looking for. You need to properly scope the particular project. You need to identify the risk. You need to identify the constraints. You should not really create a false hope or a false environment to the clients. You need to satisfy them. If you are not satisfying, if you are unable to understand customer empathy, what happens? You may lose the client. And apart from it, why these people are paying you that level of fat salary? You are really with the customer and you really need to have a patience. Why the customers come back with various doubts. Hey man, this is not the one. We want like this. So now they may be in a different league and you are in a different league. You need to slowly convince them, hey, this is really not possible. This is possible. You need to create that scope, means proper scope you want to establish to the clients. If you are unable to, they're going to have a lot of imaginations, a lot of heavy estimations how the project going to look like, and you're really unable to meet them. So you need to have a lot of soft skills than the hard skills. You need to have a good soft skills. Plus, you need to be very, very good with the Python. Means you're really doing the coding near the client and you're deploying at a scale. And you need to know about cloud platforms. You need to know about AWS. You need to know about GCP. You need to know about Azure. You need to know about Dockers, Kubernetes, Jenkins, means CI/CD pipelines. All of this you need to be very good with. Apart from it, you need to know like different agentic architectures. You need to know about how exact, whether I need to build agentic AI or maybe like a pure ML, or I want to build a deep learning. What exactly want to really build? Maybe they are asking you to integrate this AI into RPA. You need to know about that. So you need to be very, very flexible with the tech stack. You cannot just be like, hey, I will be learning only this and I will be knocking the door. Not really. So you need to be very, very flexible to learn, to adopt, and you need to be a quick learner. You need to be damn confident if you are trying to hit the market. And then see this, understand their needs, yes, guide adoption of what you build, scope work, sequence delivery, and remove blockers. So what exactly you need to do? You need to identify the scope, you are architecting it, and you are dividing the entire project into multiple chunks. You cannot really say, hey, I will be delivering your POC maybe in 3 months. Not really. So you want to show them the value every day. You want to show them how we are progressing every day, where we are heading every day. Before we are even going, if you are trying to implement this, what is the amount of automation we are able to achieve? What is the amount of savings we are able to achieve? All of this cost benefit analysis you want to show them. And you want to identify the process they are struggling with and what is the benefit they are able to achieve by solving it. And what is the complexity of automation of that particular process. All of this need to be studied. Make trade-offs between scope, speed, and quality. That's right. So now when you are into the real time, for example, I got a Tyler here and he is having a scope. Yes, whatever the design I'm looking for, he's able to. But he is taking maybe like 3 months to come up with one shed. I don't really like the speed. And the quality is more important. So you need to have a high quality, high speed, and you need to meet the scope. So that three trade-off is very, very difficult. That's what they are looking for. And contribute directly in the code when progress or clarity depends on it. So you're not just a consultant who is just sharing a slide deck, but you are a real practitioner who is able to go and implement the stuff near the client. That is very, very important. And codify work patterns into tools, playbooks, or building blocks that others can use, right? And share field feedback that helps research and product understand where the model succeed and where they can improve, keep teams moving, so on and so forth. And now this, what exactly you need to have 5+ years of engineering or technical deployment experience that includes customer facing work, have scope and deliver complex systems in fast moving or ambiguous environment, right? And review production grade code across front end and back end using Python, JavaScript, or comparable stack, have built or deployed systems powered by LLMs or generative AI models, and understand how model behavior affects the production experience. Simplify complexity and make fast, sound decisions under pressure. Most of the tech people lack this. They are unable to simplify the complexity. Practically, you need to be a trainer. And the reason why I'm into the training is one of the reason is this, where exactly I used to explain even till now, like I want to explain the stuff to the client. So clients are pure non-technical. I want to take a complex stuff and I want to explain them how exactly this really working. So that is very, very important. So simplify complexity and make fast, sound decisions under pressure. Brilliant. Communicate clearly with engineers, yes, product teams, and customer stakeholders, spot risk early and adjust without slowing down. So in simple lines, you're working close to the client 24/7. You really want to impress them. If you're not really doing it, if you're not really giving what customers want, you are losing the client. So the goal behind forward deployed engineers are really about gaining the customers. So like how you're gaining the customers. So not just with your degree, hey, my guys are from this. That's not the real metric here. So you're gaining the customers through the success of AI projects in simple lines. If you can really build that success, if you can really make things work, yes, you want to be a forward deployed engineer. So that's where like companies are really looking for. If you want a high paying and a high growing career, yes, you are able to target forward deployed engineers. I hope you got the roadmap. So this is what they are really looking for. And model calm and judgment when stakes are high. So like it's all about soft skill combination with a hard skill combination, 50-50. So like Dan saying soft skill and hard skill, you are a combination of soft skills, you're understanding the people, and you're good at explaining, you're good at communicating, and you're using the hard skills, plus you're using the business. You need to know what really works for a business, what really create a value to the business. So you're not just a guy of an engineer, you are a combination of all these three. A regular engineer is all of skills, hard skills, but a manager is all of soft skills. And a combination of soft skills and a hard skills, yes, forward deployed engineer, plus a business. You need to make the project successful. You need to grow the business. You want to impact the savings. You want to reduce the risk. So like you are more a combination of all these three. So we call him as forward deployed engineer. If you're really, it's your cup of tea, yes, you can learn AI and you can adopt soft skills and you are able to adopt your proper business skills. If you have these three, yes, you're able to go and crack forward deployed engineer role. I hope you got it. Any doubts, please share your views in the comments. Thank you.